You believe you're in control, but you are not. There is a boy inside you. He reacts. He craves approval. He begs to be seen. Every time an opinion, a woman's validation, or a passing circumstance pulls at him, you dance. You are a puppet, and your emotions are the strings. This is the existence of the boy, defined by reaction, by a constant need for the world to grant him permission to feel powerful. He lives on defense, waiting for the next judgment, the next test he feels destined to fail. The man you want to become is not born in comfort. He is forged. This is the story of how to find those strings. Take out the blade of ruthless self-command and cut them. It is not a gentle process. It is a demolition. This is how you destroy the boy and begin the rebirth into a man whose presence alone commands respect. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I rise unbroken. Let's get into it. Number 1. Hunt the architect of your weakness. Let's be brutally honest. The boy within you is not a source of youthful joy. He is the architect of your weakness. He is the part of you that craves validation like a drug, the part that feels a sting of rejection and lets it curdle into a week of self-doubt. He is the part of you that checks your phone obsessively, waiting for a message that will dictate your mood for the entire day. He is the part that over-explains when challenged, desperate to be understood, because being misunderstood feels like a physical threat. This is a power leak. The boy is a creature of pure reaction. His sense of self is outsourced. A compliment makes him a king for an hour. A condescending look ruins his morning. He is in a constant state of emotional whiplash, thrown by events he cannot control. He believes he has no choice but to feel what he feels. He is a victim of his own nervous system. Think of your life as a ship. The boy is at the helm, but he isn't steering. He's reacting to the waves. A big wave of criticism hits, and he turns the ship violently, losing direction. A calm sea of approval appears, and he lets go of the wheel entirely, celebrating the temporary peace, not realizing he's drifting further from his destination. He mistakes the weather for the journey. This is why you feel powerless. When your internal state is a direct result of the external world, you have surrendered your sovereignty. The boy is terrified of silence. He fills the void with noise, distraction, pointless arguments, anything to avoid the horrifying realization that he has no solid core. He is a collection of reactions, not a man of substance. He tells himself his emotional outbursts are passion. He tells himself his neediness is love. He calls his reactive anger setting boundaries. But it is all a lie. It is the boy painting his cage with the colors of strength. And the most dangerous part? He believes his own lies, because the truth that his life is not his own is too painful to bear. This is the state of the boy, a puppet who loves his strings. And it is this boy that you must, without pity, destroy. Number 2. The first conquest is the self. The transformation from boy to man doesn't start with a new habit. It begins with a single, brutal act. The moment you take the blade of absolute, merciless honesty to your own delusions. As Machiavelli taught, a leader's first conquest is always the self. You must see the world and yourself as it is, not as you wish it were. The boy wishes for fairness. The man accepts that the world is indifferent. It doesn't care about your feelings. It responds to leverage, to value, to power. And power begins with the ruthless acceptance of reality. The first act is to take complete and total responsibility. All of it. The unvarnished reality is that your current circumstances are a direct result of your own choices. That feeling of powerlessness? You chose it by outsourcing your emotional stability. That lack of respect you feel? You cultivated it by constantly seeking approval. Blame is the boy's favorite opiate. It soothes the ego, but it renders you permanently impotent. The moment you blame, you surrender your power to change. A sovereign man accepts full accountability. It is the shift from "things happen to me" to "I make things happen." This is terrifying. It means there are no more excuses. No one is coming to save you. But it is also the first taste of true freedom. When you accept you are the architect of your own misery, you realize you can be the architect of your own triumph. This requires you to look in the mirror and acknowledge every weakness, not with shame, but with cold, analytical detachment. Where are you reactive? Where are you needy? Where do you compromise your principles for a moment of validation? You must observe yourself the way a strategist studies an opponent. You must become your own most ruthless critic. This is the cruelty you must first apply to yourself. Before you can command your world, you must command your impulses. The boy wants to feel good about himself. The man wants to be effective. And effectiveness requires confronting truths that feel terrible. This is not self-hatred. It is the ultimate declaration that you are no longer willing to live a lie. Number 3, transform emotion into silent dominance. Once you cut away the delusions, you must build. You must construct an inner fortress, a citadel of the mind, so resilient that the chaos of the world can wash against its walls without breaching them. This is built with 2 weapons: strategic silence and emotional conversion. First, strategic silence. The boy believes power is in speaking. The man understands true power is often in what is left unsaid. Silence is not passivity. It is a weapon. When someone provokes you, the boy's instinct is to react. He defends. He justifies. In doing so, he confirms the attack landed. The man does something far more unnerving. Nothing. He pauses. He holds their gaze. He remains silent. This pause breaks the reactive loop. It gives you time to move from reacting to responding. It also creates crippling uncertainty in the other person. Your silence forces them to question themselves. They expected a fight. You gave them a mirror. By withholding the reaction they expect, you occupy their mind completely. Second, emotional conversion. The immature version of you reacts. The evolved version absorbs. Most men mistake intensity for strength. They raise their voices and believe they've asserted themselves. What they've actually done is reveal their pressure points. The moment someone can provoke you on command, they own you. You must learn to convert emotion from a liability into fuel. When you feel anger, don't lash out. Don't suppress it. Isolate it. Analyze it. What is this anger telling you? Then, transmute that raw energy into the disciplined drive to solve the problem. Channel its energy into a difficult workout, or a calm, but firm, conversation that reestablishes a boundary. The emotion becomes fuel, not fire. When you feel fear of failure, of rejection, the boy freezes. The man recognizes fear as a signal that he is at the edge of his comfort zone, which is the only place growth occurs. He transmutes that nervous energy into heightened focus and preparation. The fear doesn't vanish. It becomes a servant, sharpening his senses. This is not about being emotionless. It's that your feelings no longer dictate your actions. You have created a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your power. Calm is power. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Calm is power. Number 4, build immunity through understanding. A man who has built his inner fortress must still live in a world of manipulators. To be sovereign, you must understand the mechanics of how others will attempt to control you. By understanding these weapons, you render them powerless. You become immune. First is emotional anchoring. Owa, manipulator showers you with praise, making you feel important, and then makes a request at the peak of that state. The boy, high on validation, agrees immediately. The man recognizes the pattern. He feels the emotion, but his fortress holds. He creates a delay. Let me think about it. This breaks the anchor. It gives him space to analyze the request with cold logic, separating the feeling from the decision. Second is reality distortion. A manipulator reinterprets facts to change your reality. I wasn't criticizing you. I was pushing you to be better. Over time, the boy doubts his own perceptions. The man, grounded in brutal honesty, holds his ground. His reality is built on his own direct experience. He doesn't argue. He observes the attempt to shift the frame and calmly states his own perception. From my perspective, this is what happened. He is the sole arbiter of his own reality. Third is the weaponization of social proof. Everyone agrees this is the best way. The boy, fearing isolation, falls in line. The man lives by a personal philosophy, a set of core principles. His actions are dictated by his standards, not popular opinion. He asks, but is it right? Does it align with my principles? He's comfortable standing alone, making decisions based on his own internal compass, not the direction the herd is running. Fourth is the trap of rescue. The manipulator creates or highlights a problem and then positions themselves as the unique solution. They appear to be rescuing you, but they are creating dependency. The boy, grateful for the help, becomes indebted. The man asks, who benefits from this problem existing? And who benefits from solving it? He recognizes that true help empowers you. It doesn't make you dependent. Fifth is weaponized fear. The manipulator paints a vivid picture of a negative future to control you now. If you don't do this, you'll end up alone. The boy, terrified, becomes compliant. The man is the master of his own vision. He is too busy creating his own reality to fear the imaginary dystopias of others. By having a stronger, more compelling vision for himself, he makes all fear-based narratives irrelevant. By understanding this toolkit, you are no longer a pawn. You see the board. You understand the moves. You cannot be played. No. 5. The physical manifestation of power. The internal transformation is the engine, but your inner sovereignty must be projected outward. The boy is physically loud, but existentially quiet. The man is the opposite. His presence is quiet, but it carries immense weight. This begins with refining your physical presence. Your body language broadcasts your internal state. Train it to broadcast power, not anxiety. Move with deliberate slowness. The boy rushes. The man moves as if he has all the time in the world. Walk with a measured pace. Sit with stillness. This slowness signals to everyone that you are not reactive. You are in control. Next, master your speech. The boy speaks to fill silence. The man understands a pause is where words gain power. Use fewer words. Make each one count. Lower the cadence and tone of your voice. Speak from your diaphragm. State your position once, with clarity. Then let your actions do the rest. Eliminate over-explaining. It signals doubt. Finally, train your facial expressions to calm neutrality. The boy's face is a storm of emotion. The man's face is a calm sea. This does not mean being emotionless. It means you are not emotionally incontinent. Hold eye contact, not as a challenge, but as a statement of presence. Your calm, neutral expression makes you unreadable and unpredictable. The second part is the ruthless elimination of weakness. Your physical presence is about the energy you project. You must become a ruthless auditor of your life and eliminate everything that drains your power. Is it mindless scrolling? A diet of junk food that leaves you sluggish? A circle of cynical friends who pull you down? An addiction to pornography that hijacks your dopamine system? See these not as minor flaws, but as holes in your armor. Eliminate them with the precision of a surgeon. This process is painful, but each weakness you eliminate is an upgrade. Every hour you reclaim from distraction is an hour you can invest in building your skills. Your very presence becomes a statement of discipline. Number 6. Forge absolute inner sovereignty. The final stage transcends techniques. It is the path of sovereignty. The first shift is understanding that sacrifice is an upgrade. The boy lives for consumption. The man lives for creation. He understands true power comes not from what you take, but from what you build. You must learn to derive more satisfaction from executing a difficult task than from indulging in a cheap pleasure. As you sacrifice old habits, the world will seem to shrink. This is not a loss. It is a purification. You are eliminating static. In the silence, you begin to hear your own purpose. You sacrificed the boy's fleeting pleasures for the man's enduring power. The second shift is the construction of a personal philosophy. Discipline for its own sake is fragile. It must be anchored to a set of non-negotiable standards. You decide what it means to be a man of integrity, courage, and discipline. And you hold yourself to those standards with a resolve that is immune to outside opinion. Your behavior, beliefs, and purpose begin to move as one. You don't need to believe in yourself. You have the evidence of your adherence to your own code. The third shift is mastering strategic absence. Constant visibility is not strength, it is exposure. The immature instinct is to always be available, which reduces your value. Scarcity creates weight. Overexposure creates familiarity, which erodes impact. Stepping back increases influence more than stepping forward. The quieter you are, the more people listen when you speak. The less you react, the more meaning is assigned to your reactions when you finally do. By being less available, you become more valuable. Consistency in character, unpredictability in timing. That combination commands respect. The final realization on the path of sovereignty is this: power isolates by design. As you ascend beyond reactivity, your world will grow quieter. This is not the boy's loneliness, desperate for connection. This is the quiet of the mountaintop, the isolation that comes with seeing further than those in the valley. The world can no longer reach you with its petty provocations. This is the foundation of command. From this elevated position, you see the patterns. You act with strategy. Your mystery creates pressure, and that pressure transforms into respect. We began with a puppet. The journey is now complete. The strings are cut. The boy is destroyed. In his place stands a man who speaks rarely but is understood completely, who appears briefly but is remembered forever. This is power earned in silence, sealed in distance, and carried with the quiet certainty of a man who no longer needs the world's permission to exist. You are no longer the puppet. You are the man who has burned the theater to the ground and walked away, ready to build an empire from the ashes. Now drop this final affirmation in the comments. I command myself, and live in a way that proves it. If this message challenged you or awakened something in you, then support the mission. Like this video so it reaches men who need it, and subscribe if you are committed to becoming sharper, stronger, and more sovereign with every lesson.